Now, talking of your F1 exploit, it would be terrible of us not to mention Interlagos. And I'm sure the backseat.
I don't think it would be terrible.
So we're just talking about it. There you were, flying high, sliding all over the place in your Toyota. You can now see the onboard footage. So caveat, you are completely innocent because you can see the footage for yourself. And I watched it last night, and you are sliding all over the place. Lewis Hamilton, Felipe Massa fighting for the title, the former McLaren man needing 5th or better to win the title. The rain got heavy. Over to you, Timo. Tell us what happened from the cockpit perspective.
Sorry to make you relive it for the millionth time.
Yeah, I mean, it's every year, it's the same story. I mean, right, like one and a half, 2 weeks before the Brazilian Grand Prix, my telephone is ringing, and I don't know how many interviews about it. But at the end, it's part of Formula One history, and sometimes I think I would have loved to be in a different position at that time. But on the other side, if you think back, it was one of on the other side, it's cool to be in one of the most dramatic F1 history championship decider moments. But to me, sometimes I don't understand some people who there are still people out there who think I would have helped Lewis. This was all planned before the weekend, blah, blah, blah. Especially now, I mean, it took 3 or 4 years until Formula One released the bloody onboard camera, and I would have loved to have that a bit earlier, that people can see what really happened. I mean, and I can still remember it really well. We were driving, everything was clear strategy. I struggled a bit in general on that weekend with the pace, and that sort of 10 laps towards the end, I see this massive rain cloud coming from that one side to the track. And to me, it was clear that it's going to hit us at some point. And we were driving, and other guys started to change tires already. And we made the decision to stay out. We gambled, we had nothing to lose. So we decided to stay on dry tires, try to make it to the end. We gained 4 or 5 positions, I think. And like 3 laps to the end, I said, guys, this is not going to work out. For sure, in the last lap, it's going to hit us massively. And they said, are you leading that much? We stay out. It paid off. We are in the top 5. We stay out. Second to last lap, I come around the last corner, and it was already raining. It was so wet. I said, I need to come in. I'm not going to survive this last lap. And they said, no, you can't come in anymore, because the pit was already closed, because they were filling up these fences around the podium, where the mechanics stay, where the cars are parked. So there was actually no room to go by anymore. That's what the team told me. So they said, you need to stay out, you can't come in. So arrive in turn 1, it's raining, it's wet, the tires are cooling out. I had zero grip anymore, and I was just trying to survive. Didn't have any clue in what position I am. Didn't have any clue how much sort of gap I have to the guys behind me. And then when those guys passed me, I had no clue who is it. I was just trying to keep the car on track, and that's it. And no one told me that I was in that sort of position where I decided the championship. So I come back to the pits. We stopped on the pit entry. Lewis, funny enough, parked directly in front of me. I just got told Lewis is world champion. That's it. So what I do, I go to Lewis. Well done, mate. Congratulations. Walk off. And then this whole bunch of journalists and camera teams walks down the hill towards me or towards Lewis. So I go to the side, let them go to Lewis, but they all came to me. And I was like, what the hell is going? So first question straight away from an Italian journalist: was this planned? This is unbelievable. How did you manage to communicate in the race? I said, what the fuck is going on here? I have no clue what you're talking about. So I stopped answering any questions, went back, and I asked my physio, I said, Axel, what the hell is going on here? And he said, man, you decided the world championship. So it took me like 15 minutes to realize what's going on. We talked, that the team talked to me and showed me the footage and stuff like this. And then I realized in what what shitty situation I'm in. And at the end, it was like in a film. Let's say my mechanics, the whole Toyota crew had to change their team clothes because people were throwing stuff from the paddock lab to our mechanics. They escorted me with police on the next day into the plane. Until I was in the plane, the police turned around and went back. So it was intense, and the weeks after was just like a film. I mean, it was crazy. Got people shouting at me, Facebook groups, which you should take that Glock out, you should get the license away, we should kill him, stuff like this. It was pretty intense. And no one really knows about that or realizes what happened in those weeks. God. But at the end, now it's more about people understand it more, see it more due to the onboard camera, and life is a bit easier now around the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Amazing.
But
it's amazing.
Still, I mean, I never talked with Luis about it. I never talked with Felipe about it. So the best thing would be to do a podcast with Luis, Felipe, and me the next time.
Yes.
Make that happen. We can crash it out. You must have spoken to Felipe Massa about it since, no? Not even after the race itself and until now?
No, he never really talked to me. It felt like when we had the 10 years anniversary and in Brazil, I mean, I was there for RTL. It felt a bit like he was every time going the other direction where I was walking into. So we really never talked about it.
Well, what a way to end that season, and even 10 plus years down the line, we still talk about it. It's unbelievable the amount of hate you got for that, but thank goodness it's it's all square, and I think anyone with a brain would realize that there's no way you could have possibly masterminded that anywhere.